Yo, it's Sid and Dion, brothers on a comedy path. All jokes aside, we about to change the math. Real talk plus no filter equals not your usual chatter. From sports to politics, all subjects matter. Never shallow, we about to go into the deep end. Get ready to dive in, go ahead, grab a friend. Now this is grown people business, keep them kids inside. Now that's debatable, jump on, it's time to ride. Yeah, now that's debatable. Now that's debatable. Here we go. Time to start the show.
Yo, y'all hear me? That is me rapping right on the. You know what? You know why I can say that? Because I paid for that track, son. I paid for that track. No, I'm just kidding. That's my man, Run Like. Love his music. He's been on a couple other of my projects, so love having him. Shout out to him. Shout out to you guys for jumping in with us. Mary beats everyone to the punch. Mary. Thank you for being here with us. She says, hi, guys. Hello to you, Mary. I am Sydney. That is Dion Curry over there. We are ready to jump in and have a fun show. I'm going to be honest with you, like we always are. Danielle is in with say, hey, guys, what's good, Danielle? I am not feeling great again. I got a little bit of a scratchy throat, so I think I'm on the other side of it. And Dion is just tired. So, but we're going to put in work, and we're going to have the best show that we can possibly have for you guys. I know who is right here. Those two people right there at the old Hannikin house is with us. What's going on? Wade is with us. What's good, brother? Appreciate you. Thank you guys for jumping in. So we're going to have a nice, slightly energetic, slightly relaxed show. We know what we want to talk about. But if you guys take us in, I don't think you guys have taken us in a different route in a while. So if you guys do that, that'll be great too. You know, we tired of doing the heavy lifting. Do some of the work for us every once in a while. Dion, what's good, bro?
It's the end of the year, and our backs have been broken by the massive load we've carried. So now we take this final month of December to have you, the master debaters, take us through to the new year. No, I'm happy to be here. Normally we do this on Monday.
Yeah.
So we talk about our weekend, so let's do that now. I had a good weekend. I had done a show on Saturday, and I thought it was going to be horrible, and it turned out to be real fun because it was a matinee show, a 4:00 in the afternoon show. Probably 60 people came out, but they did not give the first few comics any love. So I'm like, it's freezing cold. There's 60 people here, whatever. This place holds over 300. It's just not, I got to do 10 minutes in front of these people who probably are already drunk at 4. So I was dreading it, obviously, but it turned out to be a really fun show, and I'm glad I got to do that.
I had a good weekend too. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to get this tea ready over here for my throat, so I apologize. Had a good weekend too. My man Brian Ritchie had invited me out to do a guest set at Stir Crazy. Went out and did that. Worked out some new material, which Dion knows. Like I know, once you burn material, you want to get off to some fresh shit. So it went well. Did a guest set. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna be at Stand Up Live in a couple of weeks, so I'll be working out some more new material between now and then. But it was good. Had a good time with it. So shout out to him. Shout out to the club. Weekend was great though. Outside of that, watched some football, saw some friends. Had a good time, man. It's time to get back to work though. 2024 will be here, so we got to be ready to go. So got some other shit happening. So constantly ramping.
Cool.
Go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say you are right. 2024 is getting ready to kick off, but you talk about ramping it up. I'm like, well, let's slow down and enjoy this last month of 2023 if we can.
I wish. But I got Laugh Local jumping off, so putting a team together for that. A couple of folks already kind of on that infrastructure, so we need to sit down and have meetings and discuss that. I'm probably going to try to go out and hit a show tomorrow night if I can to check out some local talent that I want to put on that starting next year. So no slowdown. There's too much to be done. Too much to be done.
Fair enough.
Let's see here. Mary says, wow, Dion. So that's her comment she was making towards you. about we've been carrying the load all year. It's about time they can help out. So she threw that wild Dion up.
I mean,
Marshawn has jumped in with us with a yo. What's good, Marshawn? Thanks for jumping in here. And then he said 3 people deserve a good show. You know what, Sean? And Sean is my brother as well. Love him to death, even though he's from Chicago. Been knowing his wife, Tawanda, that I call EP, for a lot of years now. And EP stands for Easy Pickings. I hope she's around to hear. That's what I call her. Easy
oh,
Pickings. So, but you make a good point. We put it back up there again about his comment there. 3 people deserve a good show. I think I've said this on the show before, and Dion, I'm sure, will agree. It's not my story, but I love sharing, especially with young comics. There was a show George Lopez had in Texas. I think there was a big storm that came through. They had sold pretty much all of the tickets already. But because of the storm, nothing close to what the sellout should have been was there. And the other comics who were on the show were in the back a little bit upset because it wasn't a packed arena or a packed theater or whatever. And George said, hey, don't make these people feel bad for being the ones that actually showed up to have a good time. Go out there and give them the same show that you would give, whatever. So, it's a story that I heard. I've never forgotten. I hold close. And so to Sean's point, which I'll put up again, you are right, Sean. 3 people deserve a good show. It does not matter.
yeah,
D, I look
I
like you're
don't
going to
know.
say something different.
I don't know about all that because what if they were the 3 people that scam somebody out of their tickets? Do they deserve a good show? No.
Why you throw all this crazy
I'm
stuff
just
on
saying
the 3?
because it's a broad statement to say.
Well, wait a minute. You don't know they scammed anybody out of tickets, so all you know is they three
I
people sitting
don't.
there.
So, okay, so how do I know they deserve it? Just because
Oh,
they're people. That's why I don't agree with this statement.
I said,
But
okay, all right,
it's
all right.
semantical,
No,
so
it's not
fair enough.
semantical at all. You should be looking
It
for
is
shit. No,
semantical.
it's not. No, it's not. Mary says, when will you be at Stand Up Live? Mary, I will be there like the 21st, 22nd. I'll be there with Pete Lee, a good friend of mine, very funny dude. So come on out, Mary. If you've never seen Pete, Mary, I don't know if you've seen Pete. If not, definitely want to come out. Pete's a funny, funny dude. Keith Robbins is in with us, gives us a what's up, what's good, Keith. Thanks for jumping in. You know what I love about having Keith as a friend of mine on Facebook? He shares a lot of photos. A couple of them are of his son, and you know what? I don't even mind because they're not overwhelmingly obnoxious. They're just good, just having good, wholesome family, father and son fun. So, Keith, what up to you, man? I hope you and the family are having a great holiday season, man.
I don't even know how to respond to that. He takes normal photos of his children. Okay.
They're not. Look, man. Certain photos, and you
I,
guys tell me if you agree or disagree. There's certain people who put photos of their kids. They are so obnoxious, as if no one's ever had a child before. As if I'm watching. What's the damn show that we used to watch about the animals and shit? Like this is the first. Look at this is the mom with the first
Bruh,
cub. We've never
you
seen one of these
getting
in
mad at for
existence.
first time mothers for being overly excited about having a child?
First time mothers, second time mothers, third time mothers. Quit acting like we've never seen a child before. We've seen it. We've seen the baby before. We've seen a small child. All right. Your child is no special than the other children that are in my news feed that I wish were not.
You really do hate other people's kids, man.
Facebook user says, "Hey everybody." Not sure who that is, but hey to you.
That
Gives you.
was Lee Jones.
Okay, what's
Good
up,
old
Lee?
Lee.
What up, Lee? Danielle says, I'm glad you explained that, Sid, because I was coming for Marshawn because I thought he was throwing shade. No, not at all, Danielle. Sean's good people, good people. Mary says we will try to be there. Hopefully you can make it out to Stand Up Live. Gary Dittmer is on. Diddy's in the house. What's going on, Gary? And then Wade says, see, Wade agrees with me. He says, Sid's so true. See?
I guess. We got Miranda Adams in here. She says, hey.
What's good,
So,
Miranda?
hey, Miranda. So, you ready to hit the topic that we on for today?
I do, but I wanted to say this real quick. Danielle says, I have a
So,
cousin who posts 68 photos of her child like it's a model photo shoot, like frame after frame of the same pose. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
you know what that sounds like to me? You remember your grandmama used to have the photo album, you know, underneath the coffee table. That's
Yeah.
what that sounds like to me. When you upload 63 pictures of, the same photo, it's like, oh, you're just doing, a photo album.
Right, and that's where these photos belong, in a photo album. Save them for somebody who wants to come over to your house so you can bombard them with these photos. Remember, that's like everything used to be secret. Like you didn't see any photos until you went to that house, and they just bombarded you with like 6 photo albums that your mother, your grandmother been holding up. Now I got to look at all these photos. Remember, everybody used to keep all this shit in diaries. Now they don't. Now I got to read this shit every day in my news feed about how you feeling, about what you had for dinner, how you feeling, what happened at work. Oh, I can't believe we broke up. Oh, I'm quitting comedy. Like every thought in your head that should go in a diary. Remember you used to do with your diary? Remember you wrote shit in your diary and then you had a lock on it? And then you had a secret place that you hid it that nobody knew about except for your younger sibling or your parents. And you thought you ain't want nobody to read shit. Now everybody wants you to read everything. No, keep secrets. I want everybody to have a secret.
You don't like the red table talks. You don't need those. Let, let me tell you about this one time that I was never ever able to overcome since that time.
No, go get a shrink. Jesus Christ, man.
It's just me and you in this room.
Don't worry about these cameras, these lights.
Yeah, it's just me and you here.
When you and I need to talk about stuff, Dion, what do? I pick up my phone and I call you. Then we
Yeah.
talk. And sometimes we might be on the phone for an hour and talk about whatever. It may be nothing. But I needed to talk to you. All right. I did not post it on Facebook and just tag you to it. And I hope don't nobody know about this. Don't nobody find out.
Well, I'm thankful our CIA operative who listens to all of our phone calls doesn't post it on the internet.
I'm gonna tell you what I tell my mama. Don't nobody care about nothing you talking about, all right? Don't nobody,
That's a
don't
lot.
nobody, don't nobody want your stuffing recipes or your whatever. Nobody care about what you talking about.
Stove top.
If you, now, if you say one of them code words, which I won't say right now, because they're kicking this door, then you may have some problems. Other than that, don't nobody give two shits about what you talking about.
Man, okay. Everybody got a section. That's all I'm saying. Everybody got a tower that got an operative listening to it. So
I didn't
he
say he
might not
don't.
be he might not be listening all the time, but he definitely listening.
He'd be like, "Who's this sitting in Dion about to talk?" I'm about to go take a smoke break. What's he about talking about that? Danielle, okay, she said that already. I'm sorry. We'll get to the topic here, Dion. Give me 1 second. Julius says, "Yeah, all of your kids' accomplishments aren't groundbreaking or shareable." Thank you, Julius. Wade says, "One photo done, not 68 of the same little shit that drew on Sia's wall." That's right. Daniel says, "My Facebook is mostly like my own personal dear diary." No, Danielle,
Some of the stuff Danielle be posting, y'all.
Danielle's Facebook page is, look here, motherfuckers. I'm about to shade all of you motherfuckers today. You post more text. Like, that's why I don't be text Danielle no more. I don't know if my text may end up on Facebook.
Bruh.
Screenshot everything.
Danielle's page is the Wild Wild West. Like it is her. Yeah,
She says, but with a smart ass twist. You being kind to yourself with that. Oh my God. Julius says that's why family get togethers don't have a lot of people. Y'all sharing everything. Julius, that's a good fucking point, bro. That's why don't nobody show. You can't get a family reunion no more. You're right.
man. I said I ain't getting up out my bed to go learn what I already know.
I can eat ribs at home. Oh my God.
It's funny.
Danielle says, I feel bad for whomever face the FBI is assigned to my phone calls. That shit probably bored as fuck. Wah, wah, wah. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Let's see here. Facebook you says, maybe your kids' compliments are shareable. My kids are awesome. Who is that?
that's Miss Susie.
Hello, Miss Susie. Yes, I don't doubt your children are doing groundbreaking things. I would never argue with you.
You about to rip her head off till you found out who it was. Your whole damn tone changes.
You don't let me spill hot tea in my lap, bro.
He said, who was it? Oh, hi, Miss Susie. Yes, ma'am.
What- I feel a little bit like Samuel Jackson and Django. What was his character's name?
Oh,
All right,
whew,
Miss
you
Miss
got.
Su- Miss Susie says my old lady privilege. Well, as long as she knows. So, Dion, don't ever put me on blast like that, man.
You was this close. Don't you ever come
Thank you.
by here. Finna hit her with the. You better announce yourself before you come around here. You get dealt with.
Miss Susie, I'm assuming says Sydney is the sweetest. Oh, I'm assuming that's who said that. Thank you, Miss.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Susie.
Oh, too funny.
All right. And Danielle says, I'm oddly proud. She's oddly proud of that Facebook where she just be shading people. If you don't have Danielle Marie as a Facebook friend, try to friend her. If she will accept it, be very thankful for it. Because I don't go scrolling through my news feed a lot. But when I do, I know Danielle gonna have something good in there. She talking some shit about somebody or screenshotting some text message she got from some random ass dude. All right.
Yeah.
With all that said, let's get to the show. Thank you guys again for joining us on Now It's Debatable. We do appreciate it.
That was
Dion,
funny.
Dion carrying the show again as far as the topic goes, showing his worth. This is why when his contract comes up, we will go through a very long negotiation before we up it. All right, this will be. I would do what Jerry Jones did with Dak Prescott. I will wait to the very end before I can only do nothing but pay you top dollar.
I'm gonna be like 2 times plus half.
2 times plus half.
2 times plus half.
Dion, sir, would you introduce the topic for tonight, please?
So I was, I think I was listening to the radio on the way I was driving home from the show, and they were talking about who are some of the most respected Americans alive today. They kind of got into a debate of who's more respected, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and a few other people who had already passed. But I thought it would be an interesting debate to ask you, Sydney, and all of our master debaters, who are their top 5 most respected Americans living today? It can be any category for whatever reason, but just who are the top 5 that you think people should know if they don't already?
And I want you guys to kind of play around with us on this if you can. Let's try to change it up a little bit. We're going to go, obviously, as Dion and I always do, round for round. I want you guys to go round for round with us as well. I don't want you guys to just dump us with all 5 of yours. I want to go round and round, and you guys, because you guys stick with us for the majority of the show anyway. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's play this one together. Let's try to do something new before the end of the year. Dion, you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Nah, you go ahead.
I got Michelle Obama, Mrs. Michelle Obama, the former First Lady, for 2 reasons. Some of you out there can disagree with me, but in my lifetime, I feel like she has been the most beloved First Lady that this country has ever had. I also believe that she has continued that well beyond to the point where there are people who want her to run for president. I see Danielle coming in with President Obama and Michelle Obama. And I was almost went with Barack, but I said that was too easy. He's the president, of course. You know, he was the main one in the spotlight, and I felt like that was going to be too easy. I thought Michelle being the first lady, not necessarily the one in the spotlight. I thought that this one would be even more so. And the other thing I was gonna say too, I thought Michelle Obama always showed something that we've never seen before because we never had a black woman in that position. She showed a certain grace and class along with that thing that comes along with some black women. I don't take no shit off nobody. and she just had a perfect balance of that. And so I find her to be one of the most interesting people and people that I respect. And I would love to be able to sit down and have a conversation with her one day.
You know, it's so funny that you picked her because obviously Obama was going to be in my top 5. And I picked him for all the reasons that he should be picked. You know, first black president. You know, he's able to put Michelle in a place to be in your top 5. So I'm going with him. I think he was just when he hit the scene, he hit it at the right time where social media was starting to grow, and he was a younger guy who seemed like the cool dad, minus the Cosby problems. He just he just had all the sauce at the right time, and I think he really got the young people energized, to which has spawned this new generation that we got now. So I have to go with him first. Just getting old people, he gave them hope, and they got to see something they never thought they'd see with him getting into the office. I just think it's got to be him.
We said most interesting. That's his question, right? The most interesting.
Respected. You can modify it if you want to do interesting. Respected.
I'm gonna go with just a
Either
modifier.
either way, I think both of them can be argued for the list.
And so Danielle says, I love them both so much I couldn't choose. I see no one else has chimed in. Hey guys, click on that share button if you don't mind, if you haven't already. I said we got a few eyeballs with us, so if you guys would jump in and let us know who you're thinking would be. I don't know if you can see. I can't really see anyone coming through on the feed for me. I don't know. Maybe they're coming through somewhere else, Dion.
All I'm seeing is Miss Susie's comments where you read the last one, so I'm not even gonna read it again.
Okay, so then my next person, because I'm thinking interesting, respected. I guess you can go respected. I guess.
Let's do both. You don't have to modify your list. We're doing different lists, and
Then
they can.
I'm gonna say Donald Trump. I Donald Trump.
I mean, he's respected by a bunch of people. I mean, so
Yeah. I would say Donald Trump for me is on the list, and I'm not saying he's number two. It's just the name on the list here. And again, like you were saying, for Barack, I think for obvious reasons, I am. I would more than just talk to the man. I would just like to be the man's shadow for like a couple of days, because I just want to see what it is about this man that makes people. That Danielle says no, he's a joke. Danielle,
uh,
to me and you, yes, but I
you,
would
you,
go ahead.
you want to know what makes him like that to people? Blackmail. That's what it is. It's absolute blackmail.
No. Let me finish my statement. I want to see for the everyday individual, whether you black or you white, because he has black people who support him as well. Not that dude with the perm, where his hair's been over permed and he's in the back with the t-shirt that said "Black
The
Victor
the
Trump." Not that guy.
the Black Lives Matter guy from Rhode Island, the leader of that, he just supported Trump.
Right. So, but what is it? You got a guy who's not a billionaire. I don't think he's a billionaire. I don't think any of us do. But he has a lot of money. Came into money. Father gave him money. He still has some money. What is it about this man that has people who have absolutely nothing, who have watched this man do what he's done over the last 7, 8 years, still follow this dude? I want to see, he's got to have something. And I just want to see what it is. I'm fascinated by it. I'm completely fascinated by it.
Yeah, it kind of seems to me like when he first came on the scene, the immediate fan base are the longest lasting. So like that when he first came out, it was that far weird, right wing people loved him immediately, and they have been chasing that high ever since. They're like Trump crackheads who just, oh, it'll be we just got to get him in the office one more time, and it's like, yo, that's never coming. But they stick with their guy. I mean, to me, it looks like addiction. They literally look like people who are suffering withdrawal from something that gave them such a high that they have to have it again.
Well, so Danielle says, excuse me, it's the overt racism they like. And Danielle, I will agree with you for some, but there are some who are not white who dig this dude and they vote for this dude and they're going to vote for him again. There's a large majority of Hispanics that voted for him last time that may do it again. There are black people who get behind this guy. I want to know what it is. Is it that you are a die-hard, successful ass Republican and you're voting with your pocket And you think once he gets in the office, he's gonna give you all kind of tax breaks? Can't be, because some of these motherfuckers look like some of the brokest people you've ever seen in your entire life. Your entire life. I find it interesting.
You know, he. What can we say about him that hasn't already been said? You know what I mean? I mean, he just, for whatever reason, that first hit when they got it, he told them I could go shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any votes. I mean, when you have that level of confidence in your messaging and the way that you manipulate people, it's hard not to respect it, and it's definitely interesting.
I would agree. I would agree with some of that. Yeah. Who you got next?
My number two, and not in any particular order, but my second choice, I'm going with Jon Stewart.
Ooh, that is a good
I
one.
think
Why Jon
I,
Stewart?
I think Jon Stewart, how he parlayed stand-up comedy into the Daily Show, and then into the Daily Show into his Apple show, and his advocacy for the 9/11 situation. I just think, whether it was red or blue when he was doing the politics thing on the Daily Show, he was always somebody that could say, "Hey, this is right, this is wrong," and then just all the things that he's done for those people who were left with survivors um, from 9/11. He's somebody I respect.
That's good. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That's a good one too. And all for all of the celebrities that they try to run out to say they should run for president, and for whatever reason, Jon Stewart just popped up in my mind. You could throw him up there on the podium. Not that he would, and not that he has any interest in it. And I don't think those other celebs either. Maybe The Rock. He's the only one that keeps talking about it for another reason to keep his name in magazines. But Jon Stewart, you're right, is a good one, and I he's a perfect example of what you see, what you get when people get to a certain level of success when they don't have to give a fuck anymore. I
hmm
guess Trump will be on the other end of that. He has a certain level of money, success, so you get exactly who he is. And I think Jon Stewart is the same way. Like, I don't think John is doing this because he's trying to get into heaven, because he's knocking on the door of dying anytime. So I think he's just a thoughtful dude, and who sees things that are right and wrong and wants to try to correct them. Not to say he's any angel. I'm sure there's stuff out there that he wouldn't want people to know. We all have secrets, but yeah, you're right. To parlay what he was doing to the Daily Show, and to get out of the Daily Show when he was at his height and give it up, and then to turn around and have the show on Apple TV, which has been canceled, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
And reading and listening to some of the things I heard, it was canceled because some of the things he wanted to talk about, Apple was not appreciative of. And so they
hmm
got rid of him the same way Robert De Niro took Apple to task a night or two ago, because they tried to cut out his Trump talk and his speech he wanted to give. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Danielle says that Trump folks have Stockholm syndrome. You may be absolutely correct about that. Mary follows up and took something that I took someone I was going to say, but it's a good one, Mary. Bishop T.D. Jakes. I really, really like that man. And you talking about a guy who grew up in the church. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
Something wrong with liking Bishop T.D. Jakes?
Him, Creflo Dollar, they're all the same. They're
I,
just a bunch of con men.
I don't see him in the same vein as Creflo Dollar.
How do you not see them in the same vein?
How? Why would I? How come I should? Why?
Because they're both sower seed preachers.
Okay. I definitely don't. I just don't. Creflo's been more flashy and about the money than a few other pastors that have been on the television. I don't see Bishop T.D. Jakes as that. I just don't. And maybe he is, but I don't see it as that. And again, back what I was going to say, as a kid who grew up in the church, who tries to go to church every once in a while, but tries not to be overly saturated with it. One of the things I enjoy about him, and I think he does a great job, is to be able to deliver a message to everyone no matter where you're coming from. I think if you sat down and you just wanted to hear it and take it in, you could take something from him and apply it to your life and do some things better. And so that's one of the things I enjoy about him. Other thing I enjoy is the fact that, and this is me not liking it in the beginning, is that he's been able to open up his own businesses as well outside of the church. And as he explains it, he keeps everything siloed. Everything is separate. So the church has nothing to do with this, doesn't have anything to do with that. Monies are not commingling or anything of that sort. But able to be a best-selling author, to write films and so on and so forth, and be able to have that type of effect. So I enjoy Bishop T.D. Jakes for a lot of different reasons, but that's a man I could just sit and listen to. And for me, when it comes to church and when it comes to a minister or a pastor, he does have something for me that Creflo has never had for me, is that when he's speaking, I feel like that message was crafted just for me. And I think that is something that any speaker, pastor or otherwise, is if they're able to do that, that just takes them to another level. And so he's someone that was on my list. I do enjoy him a lot.
Fair enough. I mean, I just remember being a teenager and hearing him on my mom's TV in her room, and that whole get ready bull crap that he was selling people. Just it irritated my teenage unreligious soul. And she had all the books that he was hawking, at $45 for a bullshit ass paperback. Man, yeah, whatever. But okay. I'm like,
but
fuck
thanks for
TD
gently
Jakes.
backslapping
I'm
my
sorry.
option. Go ahead. You like,
Like,
oh,
I don't
okay, all right.
respect them or find them interesting at all.
Who's
So
your next person? Let me see if I can stump all over that. Who's your
my next person, he's I don't I don't know how famous I'd say he is, but I'm going with Jim Rome, and
really?
yeah, and the reason why I pick him is because he's been doing broadcasting for the better part of 30 years, and each and every year he has found a way to elevate his show to the point where he made it into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and to talk sports for 30 years and have the fan base that he has, I find it to be just something that I admire, how he's been able to accumulate so many different fans from different areas. Granted, they all have a invested interest in what he's talking about, but I just the way he's been able to connect all these audiences, and each show, he does interviews with a couple of athletes, but really it's just a bunch of running inside jokes. I think is really cool and something that I kind of wish we have for this show, which we do in a little bit, with Mary and Miss Susie and a few other people. But I'm going with him.
We've only been doing the show for 3 years, Dion. All right, we got another 27 years.
True, true, true.
That's 30 years of cultivation that man's been doing. For me with sportscasters, like I go through stretches. Like it used to be, I like Jim Rome a lot, and back in the day, he's somebody I would listen to all the time. Have a tape, don't suck. And
Yeah.
listen and all that. And I'm with you as far as having that fan base that is just loyal, loyal, loyal. But then I don't know if I outgrew him or I got sick of him. Then I went to Dan Patrick, and for me it was Dan Patrick and Colin Cowherd. And then I got kind of tired of the Dan Patrick show too because he was letting the other guys talk too much for me, for my taste. And then I went over to Colin Cowherd, and I've been on him for a while, and then been enjoying that show. But yeah, can't take anything from Jim Rome. I didn't know he made it to the Sports Broadcasters Hall of Fame. So kudos to him for that. So that's a good one. I like that one. Let me go here to some of these comments. Mary on TD Jake says, yes, Sydney, agreed. And all that money, and he still keeps his gap. Well, Mary, he's got he's got you don't want the church asking where's that money going. You can't be fixing your face.
Yeah. Ask Steve Buscemi. That's why he didn't fix his grill.
That's the dude. You are surprised. It kind of became his thing, though.
It's literally he was like he did a movie He got his check. He told his agent he was gonna go get this. He's like, no, that's the reason they hired you. Don't fucking touch it. And he left it that way because he got work from it.
But you know what? Steve Buscemi, if you go back and look at some of the stuff he did when he was younger, not that bad looking of a guy, even though the grill is just like, but I think it comes with anyone when you get older and you're not really holding yourself up, then you just start to notice shit. You know, like one day Cindy Crawford isn't keeping it all together. We might look up and say, "Oh, that girl got that big ass mole on her face. I can't believe she never did nothing about that." so, so I just think it's one of those things.
You used to love this mole.
Exactly, exactly. Marshawn says George Carlin, he was always real. I like George. He's dead, but
Yeah.
yeah, like George. And someone asked me one time, was George Carlin really a comic? Because they felt like he just got up there and just
Read
preached.
the news.
Yeah, yeah. So was he really a comic? And I say, yeah, man. I think George was, for lack of because I'm sure there's always someone from before someone. George was Dave Chappelle in a way before Dave Chappelle was doing Dave Chappelle. I think when you look at what Dave was doing stand up wise, even if you want to go back to Killing Me So Softly, very good, very well written, but it was a different thing than what you see Dave doing now. I think they are completely, almost 180 degrees difference in the type of comedian Dave was then to now, which what should happen. But I feel like George Carlin was doing Dave Chappelle before Dave Chappelle was. I mean, would you agree with that? What do you think?
I mean, I never have thought about it until you just said it, and I listened to you explain it, and I definitely can see what you're talking about. I feel like this version of Dave that we have in 2023 is closer to the older version of George Carlin than the younger versions of each of those two performers were
Yes,
to each other.
yes, 100%, 100%. Because yeah, George was who you talk about being really different in terms of what he was when he was younger to when he got older, to where he almost said, I don't care about doing TV. I don't care about the Smother Brothers or any of that variety TV shit that I was trying to get because I was trying to feed my family and all that. I'm going to talk about what I want. Almost in the same vein as Richard Pryor to a certain extent,
Mm-hmm.
where Richard was trying to be Bill Cosby in the beginning and wear the suits and be all buttoned up and everything. And then whatever it was for Richard, I'm sure you'll know it better than I will, and you'll let the audience know. But when Richard made the big switch, was from fuck that, I'm not doing Bill, I'm going to be Richard, and this is what I'm going to do.
I think that I can't remember if I read this or saw it in a video, but basically Richard was saying that what snapped for him and led him to be able to become who he became instead of trying to imitate Bill Cosby is he had gotten drunk one night and went on stage and he was trying to do the whole shtick and in the middle of it he was just like started roasting himself like why am I trying to be this and that's people loved it and he was just like from that moment on I'm gonna just be honest.
And that's what we're always taught. Well, not always taught. If you talk to real comedians, real pros, and they want to give you real advice, that's the thing that's what they always tell you. Just be yourself. Talk about your shit. Be relatable. And and then that's when you learn not to really so much worry about people stealing your material either. Because if you're doing shit about you and you're being true to you, nobody can steal your shit. And if they do steal your shit, everyone knows that's Deion Curry's fucking joke. That's not even your
Mm-hmm.
That's not even your fucking joke. So is all that goes together. I think I told this story before, but I remember meeting Godfrey. I was like year 7, year 8. And he said, "Oh man, how long you been doing that?" I said, "Like 8 years." He goes, "Oh, you're only 8 years old." And I'm looking him up and down like, I'm the biggest star on the planet. You must not know me. So I think he recognized it. But he's like, "Hey, no offense, bro. I'm just trying to say when I was doing it 15 years, I met Jerry Seinfeld, and Jerry said, 'Oh, you're only 15 years old.'" And what I mean by that is you're going to completely change, and your voice will be different. You'll present material different. You'll be on stage different, so on and so forth. Fast forward to today, I am a completely. You saw me a couple weeks ago. I think you would even say I'm a different comic than I was when you first met me. I would assume.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it is just a different fucking thing for sure that we go through. And same for you as well.
Yeah. Did anybody else?
Yeah, we got more comments in here. Danielle says Bill Maher is someone she would like to. Danielle, I love you, but this might be where you and I we go different ways. I don't know if I would even care to sit down and talk with Bill Maher about anything. What about you, Dion?
I mean, I'd love to challenge him on why he's been a hypocrite. Just he's been both sides in this whole thing in public, and a lot of his shows have been dedicated to both sizing. You know, the argument, and it's just like, well, who are you really? So yeah, I'd have a sit down conversation with him and be like, why were some of your shows like this and some of your shows were like this, and who are you? You know,
And but
you
you
had
would
smoke for one person, then had smoke for another person. Like, what's up with that?
But you would have to get him off camera, out of the lights, and just sitting over dinner or over drinks or something. And it would have to be completely one on one. And then you come back and tell us. Because if there's an audience, I don't think Bill's gonna let you push him on anything. I think he's too arrogant to let that happen. I think he's too arrogant to be told he's wrong about anything. And that's the one thing I don't really like about his show. I used to like his show because I thought he was a little bit more honest in the beginning out there, but I'm like you. Sometimes you try to dance that line on some of these topics, and you won't allow yourself to be pushed. You'd rather make a joke out of something than have an
Mm.
actual conversation about it, especially if it's not going your way.
Yeah, which has always rubbed me the wrong way with him. It just seems like, oh, I don't got no comeback, so I'm gonna try to talk about your mama. Like, why? Like,
Right,
what are you
right,
doing?
yeah. Mary Ballard says, yes, Sydney, agreed. All that money and he still keeps his gap. I'm sorry, I read that one already. I apologize. I meant to read this one. Danielle Marie says, I miss Maya Angelou so much. Can you imagine her and Michelle Obama chatting and imparting wisdom?
I
Danielle,
can because I do, for I am what a woman.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I got too much money sitting on this desk. If you gonna start doing Maya Angelou shit, tell me before I spill shit all over my desk,
I
man.
didn't know she was gonna say Maya Angelou. I
Look,
thought I was supposed to know she was gonna do that.
look, man, that was pretty good actually. I agree.
I
Danielle, I agree with you because I'm so tired of people quoting her and not giving her the respect of saying I'm quoting Maya Angelou. Like the fake. What's the one everyone likes to say today? Because with Trump, I think Trump brings this out of everyone, especially the news anchors. If I show you who I am the first time, believe me, or however that quote goes. They love saying it as if they didn't just pull this from this woman, these jewels of wisdom. But yes, and I love the combination, Dion, of Miss Angelou and Mrs. Obama sitting down together and having. And could you imagine on a podcast, just one of them interviewing the other one just for an hour?
We could do that right now. You be Michelle and I'll be Maya.
No, I can't do Michelle.
So, Michelle, what's it feel like to have a black man be the president of the United States?
We gonna move on. we gonna, we are not about to do this to either one of
I
these
love
beautiful
Maya
women.
Angelou, man. Man, she talks slow as hell. Like, come on.
I'm sorry, Mary said Garth Brooks as well. Big Garth Brooks fan, Mary, so that would be a good one. I would love to just talk about. I mean, it's so easy, but as an entertainer, I don't know if Dion would even care about this because I don't think he's a Garth Brooks fan as far as I know. But that man's career, where it was at with the heights and the concerts he was doing when he was on tour and how much everybody loved him and the energy he always had on stage, I would just love to be able to just an hour to go into his mind to see what all of that was like and how did he prepare and how did he keep himself, on that 10. He always a 10 out of 10 at all times.
Garth Brooks is the only country singer I know who don't have any beef with black people. Like anytime you bring up Garth Brooks, the hood dudes, they be like, yeah, he cool. Like he get a pass from everybody. Which shout out to Garth Brooks.
Yeah, man, that was my guy. Man, some of his, I love doing karaoke to some of his songs. If you're out there watching right now, you may be someone who's heard me do some. On the other end of the spectrum, Marshawn said Snoop Dogg. He was diversified himself into everything. And Marshawn, what I would say about Snoop Dogg is MC Hammer was a little too early on diversification. Because when Hammer was trying to diversify into cartoons and cereal and selling them pants, oh, everybody, oh, he whack. He's a traitor. Oh, I just want to be with the white man. Just everybody went against him, and it killed his career musically for the most part. And now you're right. You got Snoop Dogg. This dude is out here with Mary Stewart or whatever the hell her name is.
Martha Stewart.
Thank you, Martha Stewart, and all kind of shows, and it's amazing. And that dude is in everything, everything. Snoop Dogg is a new Morgan Freeman. Don't be surprised if you hear Snoop Dogg as the voice of God on some movie one day.
Hey, for shizzle, Grandazzle.
Don't be surprised. And
Pass
he,
me the the mizzle.
and
And I
he,
pass the mic on over to Snoop Dogg.
but you know what? I think he gives some of that credit though to Master P.
He has to. Master P pretty much saved his life. I mean, he
Yeah,
was getting ready to go clap back at them LA boys and get up out of here. And Master P talked him out of it.
yeah.
So he was actually on my list. So
Who else?
Snoop was actually on my list.
Sorry. Okay, all right, all right. Well,
So, so,
let's. Well, can you want to save that one because I got to go to my next one and then go to yours.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we'll come back to some comments. You guys keep on giving them to us, please. Danielle says he made Martha a better person, maybe more likable. DJ
He,
Envy.
he
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just want to see you look at your face.
I knew you because I was like, what's next? Charlemagne the
Actually,
God.
Charlemagne, I would like to talk with Charlemagne. If I could get a twofer, I would actually sit with him and Andrew, because
Schultz?
yeah, I don't want to overuse the word, but I am very fascinated what these two been able to parlay their careers into. Charlemagne, from just doing the radio to being an author. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's writing these books or if he's got a ghostwriter. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But he's written a couple of books. They're both bestsellers. He has the podcast that he does with Andrew. He has this podcast network now that he has that he's bringing in, trying to bring black talent into as well. So he's really, really taken himself from just being what you thought of as a goofball, and even goofier when you think about the early days of the Breakfast Club. I think he gets a little too out there with the with the incense and stuff like that sometimes, and lighting up the candles and all that. But to each his own. But I am interested in how he was able to go, because you and I always talk about this, how to go from step A to step Z, or step A to step L before you get to Z or whatever. He's been able to really do that. And Andrew Schultz, who his comedy is completely different than mine, again, he's been able to grow that podcast flagrant into what it is today, which is a very popular podcast. And he's been able to take that and put himself into a position where he's headlining Madison Square Garden and things like that. So both those guys together, I would, if I can get a 2-for-1. But if not, I would stick with Charlemagne the God, and just kind of pick his brain on some things.
Okay. So the Breakfast Club crew.
No, I don't want to talk to DJ Envy at all. I may end up in prison talking to DJ Envy.
So your pick was Charlemagne?
Charlemagne ain't got nobody going to jail. Charlemagne don't seem to be doing anything illegal. Charlemagne ain't getting into fights with Rick Ross.
I I I just wasn't suspecting him to be that high up on your list. That's all.
Oh, I got you. I got
That's
you.
that. I was shocked by that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't knock any reasons
You shocked me with
that you
Jim
picked
Rome.
him.
I didn't know you even listened to Jim Rome. So you
Oh,
shocked me with
I've
that.
been listening to Jim Rome since I was 14. Yeah, man.
And you don't feel like you had grown out of him at all?
No, man. The inside jokes that
Okay.
from all the losers that listen to his radio program and call in and try to be funny, and then they get like, just there's so many inside jokes that if you listen to it over the years, normal people who tune in and listen go, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" But he's had a history of just running bits over the years that it's really cool to see that people throughout parts of the country get in on. It's really funny.
You make a good point because that's the same thing that Tom Segura has with his podcast with his wife, Christy P, with your mom's house. Is that it's been going so long that there's so many inside jokes between them and listeners. It is so yeah. That is always and then with Howard, any of those long Howard Stern too. Any of these
Mm-hmm.
long time podcasts or radio shows that you pay attention to your listeners or viewers in our case, you do begin to have these inside things, and you yeah. So you're right. On that you're right. I love that, and I wish we had a little bit more of that. But again, we got 27 years to go. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you got?
So my third pick was going to be Snoop. We pretty much
Fourth
ran
pick.
down all.
Fourth pick.
Who's my third pick?
Jim Rome. You have Barack Obama, Jon Stewart, Jim Rome.
Oh yeah. Okay, my bad. So Snoop. Well, now I got to cut somebody because I did. Ooh. Well, let me tell you why I picked Snoop first, and I'll go through the cuts when I go back and do the math on this. I just love how he kind of went full circle. He started off as a troubled young man with the gangster, the whole blah 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 blah. Got faced with some serious consequences, kind of straightened him up, and then he took that, made a business out of it, made money off of it, and then completely switched his image again about from coming from the gangster rap guy to the I've got I'm a little bit older. I don't do the thugging so much, but I do like to party and bling bling to this kind of grandfather. Because he started showing pictures of his kids, and you learn about him as a father. You kind of just see this public evolution of him into like America's cool high granddad. He went from somebody that, when he first started, a lot of people hated for, what they perceived for him to be his flaws or whatever. And then now those same people, they love him. Oh, he's great. They buy his products, or they love when he does the Olympics or whatever. It's just really cool to see, that part of the American dream.
That's a good one, and excuse me, I like that one a lot for your reasons that you had. Mary says Sidney Smith and Deion Curry, highest respect for them and who they are. Mary, it took you long enough to say us. We should have been first on your list. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Mary, for that.
God damn.
Danielle said, Deion, that's a good Maya. So Danielle liked it. It was real good.
It's a good what?
Maya, your impersonation of Maya.
Oh,
Miss Angela.
I forgot I did. I was like, what is she talking about?
Put that vape down. Facebook you says, I like to ask Garth Brooks about Tom Segura. There is a story about that. I think was Tom like picking on Garth or something. Can you guys refresh my memory on that? I don't know who put that up, but
Miranda said that.
okay.
I had no idea they had beef.
Yeah, there was something there between the two. I can't remember what it was. Mary says her last one is Queen Latifah.
Ooh, that's a good one. She kind of too did the Snoop Dogg thing to a
Yes,
lesser degree.
yeah, she's always constantly been going through an evolution. A much quicker one. Like she transitioned several times. And Jay says, "I have real estate for you." No, you keep your real estate over there, DJ Envy. I would not have your real estate.
That's
Oh,
funny. I take other people's money and then I use it, and they don't reap any benefits of it. It's a great plan.
just straight
Nah. I
con
learned it
artists.
from a guy from prison.
Look, man. Anytime you call your friends and say, "Hey, man, I got this thing," and they say, "Yeah, that don't sound good," they the first ones to know that you on some bullshit.
Bruh, if you write it down on a piece of paper and it sounds too good to be true, get the hell out of there.
Straight
Wait,
up
you mean to
bullshit.
tell me all I gotta do is give you $2,500 and you can turn that into $2 million?
Here's the number. This is what always gets these people into trouble. To your point, if someone is telling you something too good to be true, get out. He told you he could flip your investment into a 30% profit. There is no real investor who is going to tell you they can consistently flip you into 30. That is not a real thing. That is not a real thing. But 30% is a nice round number to make you believe, ooh,
I mean,
every
I don't know. I
go
don't
ahead.
know anything about the stock market, but I can tell you this: as someone who's tried to flip their money at a casino, you, if you could get 30% one time, you never go back up in there. So the fact that you give some rando your money because they said they can, like, I'm looking at it from Envy's perspective. Like, you meet this guy, you know he's been in prison. He told you he learned what he's telling you in prison. Like, how do red flags not go up? How do alarm bells not go off for you to be like, oh yeah, cool.
Because
Tell
he's
me what
in
you
on it.
know.
Because he's in on it.
I mean, I just don't. What is he going to gain from flipping these people's houses? It's not like he's going to make exorbitant much more money than what he was making at the radio station.
Bruh, they made, okay, I'm going to say the dude made because Envy's pretending like he ain't making any money. I never took one dime. Why are you doing it then? You ain't got nothing else to do? You don't have other businesses you're running? You don't have a family and a whole ass
This
wife
is
and kids?
this is his charity, man. You
Get the
got to
fuck
do the
out of here.
charity work. The charity work is to make you feel better about all the dirty, dumb shit that you've done in the past. That's
Well,
what charity work is
he'll
for.
do real charity work down the line like most people do because he's doing all this dirt now. That's just like I told you, reading the article, the dude owned the building already and told several people, I'm going to buy this building and then we're going to do X. Y. He took millions from these people based off one building that he already owned. Let me get back. Oh, Jay says, I say there's no such thing as getting 30%. Jay says, unless you flipping dope. so,
Um,
and so just to show you where Jay's at, he used the word dope. All right. So just, just so you, Jay, this is,
Cocaine,
all right.
heroin is what I call it. Sweet embrace of mother's milk.
I am not going to let you do Miss Maya Angelou like that.
I'm high right now.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to hell with. I'm not going to hell with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So my fifth one is going to be Jeff Bezos,
Okay.
and I know he doesn't get the respect that he probably should because, like a lot of these guys who have gotten to where they got some investment, and as I hear it, I think it was 100,000 or something like that. His father loaned him to get his bookstore of Amazon off the ground. And that's fine. I'm here to tell you, everybody who made it had somebody who helped them out in one way or the other. Whether it be open up the door to let them walk through it, whether it be just to introduce them to someone at a fucking cocktail party, or they cut you a check for 100,000, whatever it is. If you have made it, you made it because someone helped you in some shape or form. With all that said, the fact that this man, and one of the things I've learned over the years, if you want to be good in business, you have to be able to see what's fucking coming. And the fact that this man could start something that is an online bookstore and people are like, get the fuck out of here. And be able to take that and turn that into, I think one day we will get everything from Amazon. I think
Oh
that's where they're
God.
headed. Say again?
I said, oh God, a monopoly.
What we you could break that shit up right now. You could do it right now. Instead of doing we gonna pretend like we gonna break it up and never break it up because we all taking money, back here in the back rooms. But for him to take that and make it into what it is now, to where the first thing most people think about when they want to buy something is either I'm going to buy it straight from Amazon or let me price shop it from Amazon versus where I might get it from Best Buy, if you have that as an option. So just the fact that he could kind of, I want to know, did you see this coming? I have some friends here in the Valley who are partners in a breakfast chain. They hate when I say chain, but I don't know what another way to say it. They have so many of them now, and they're five guys. And I sat with them over Fourth of July weekend, and we are having a drink. I said, "Hey, did you guys see that you would be where you are now and where they're headed next?" And only one of them said yes. The rest of them were like, "I had no idea that we would get to where we are." So I would love to know, did that man have any indication that he would be able to go from there to where he is now? And if he did, I would love to know, how did you know? And what steps did you take to ensure that you would get from A to Z?
Sometimes I think the snowball rolls once you push it. You
Okay.
know, I think, and especially in Jeff Bezos's particular circumstances, he was the first to do it and optimize it to where there had been, you know, the idea of Amazon had always been around, but he was the first to execute it to where you could, get one stop shop basically. He was the one to pull it off in a company that, had good enough customer service and deals that people would look past all its fucking disgusting flaws that it runs as a business.
You know what? You make a good point, because if you look at Amazon, and they're the ones that are competing really now, and it makes sense that they're the major competitors against one another. When you look at Amazon and you look at Walmart, they kind of have almost the same business model, except for one is only online, and the other one is mainly brick and mortar, trying to make the transition to more online. It is, we have to be a conglomerate of everything. We are going to have everything at the lowest price point that we possibly can. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon does their decisions on pricing and product the same way that I hear Walmart does it, where they do a reverse auction, where if you are a supplier, let's say we both supply screws, and let's say Danielle and Jay supply screws as well. Now we're all on a conference call, and whoever's going to sell these screws to Walmart at the cheapest price becomes gets their screws inside the store. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon does something similar to that. Anyway, so that's a great comparison, that they took it and they optimized it. It wasn't a real, but the fact that he was able to go from books only to this, I think, is where the genius of it all is.
Well,
To understand that, the books is a great idea, but where do we pivot to next? Where do we pivot to next? How do we do this? How do we do that?
what did he have an online bookstore? Is that what you said?
That's what Amazon was originally. They were just a bookstore.
I mean, where else could you get books? Barnes and Noble, and
Yeah.
they went extinct pretty quickly. Due to everything switching over to the web. So again, I don't think he did anything to groundbreaking or innovative. I just think that he did what was happening market wise better than anybody else.
But there's still things you got to do it better. And how did you know that this was going to be the way you wanted to go? Was it your plan? Was it your plan from the beginning? Was this just something you saw? What were the steps, I guess, to go from there to
I
here?
think when you look at the profits that he was making, it was like, you know, the reason why this is so successful, can we apply it to the next category that we want to get into?
Maybe, yeah, maybe right.
And I
Maybe right.
think I think the ease of buying books online and all the reviews and how people talked about it, he was able to go, oh, well, if you like getting books online, maybe I can ship you sewing needles or whatever, and next thing you know, people go, oh, I like this. I can read reviews and compare it to other things. I don't actually have to go get in my car, and if it's cold outside, think about the weather or whatever, you know.
Well, the great thing about it, and I was talking to a friend of mine who's a government contractor, is what you don't think about, and we don't think about it either. And I just thought about it when it comes to Amazon. They are the perfect middleman, and that's where the money. There's so much money that lies in the middle, from supplier to the end user. It's got to get there fucking somehow. When you look at Amazon, there are things they have their name on, but for the bulk of it, this isn't shit that they have to create in any way. We're just the middleman between there and there. We just, to your point, we just happen to be able to do it as the middleman better than anyone else is able to do it.
Well, It's one of those things where they have pretty much pigeonholed the market on it. I mean, Target, Walmart, and Amazon are what our three choices to get what we need.
Hmm.
And I just, to me, it just doesn't seem. To me, it just doesn't seem like he did anything different than those stores, other than the fact that his was just all digital. So
Okay. I mean, I would disagree. But that's why we have the shows called Now It's Debatable. Not now we all agree. Let's see here. Oh, Danielle says Dr. Drew. Danielle, why Dr. Drew?
that,
Danielle's got three choices of Dion. Listen to this. She goes Idris Elba. Then she goes, I like Jim Rome too, mostly eye candy. And then she comes in, ooh, Dr. Drew. So are all
who's
these
Dr. Drew?
Dr. Drew is a therapist. He had a show at one point with Adam Carolla. They had that show where they were giving like love advice, sex advice radio show. And I think he still might have a radio show as
Okay.
well. She says Mark Cuban as well. Someone she would like, which is another one. Only because I love that these guys who become billionaires had to do like. There's always been this thing that Mark Cuban stole someone else's idea and was able to flip it and turn it and make it into what he turned it into. So I'm always like, hey, how do you?
Pulled the Facebook move on him.
Yeah, man, yeah,
He pulled a Zuckerberg.
yeah. He's supposedly trying to sell the. Do you see that trying to sell the maths, but he wants to stay in control of them after he
Hmm.
sell. I'm like, how does that work? I own the team, but you get to stay in charge of running it. I don't know about that. Let's see here. Yeah, Jay says sold the same building three times. Right, that's the one I'm talking about. Say sold that building three times. The building he already owned. Let's see. They're about to sell cars. He's a logistic genius. And he's talking about, okay, yeah, so Amazon, he said they're getting ready to sell cars, called him logistic genius. The other thing I heard they're getting ready get into, and this is probably going to change everything, Dion, if this happens, medical insurance.
Oh yeah, it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea.
At $9 a month, that is a that they are going to okay, why do you think it's a terrible idea?
This is just the conspiracy theory in me. The moment you got your Amazon health insurance, they gonna find a way to get a microchip in you, and then that end of day scenario where the robots are we're all in. That's gonna be us. We're just gonna be in a container somewhere, and it's gonna be the end of the world. Don't be letting no Amazon put your ass gonna wind up in a shipping container talking about,
Ooh,
oh
good.
God, I just wanted insurance. I'm like, okay.
You know what's gonna be the worst day of my life? The best day of my life is hearing you say something so crazy and me having the opportunity to laugh at you because I think it sounds so fucking bananas. The worst day of my life is if I'm in a fucking shipping container.
Like
that
that
mother,
nigga, I
that,
told him.
I hope they drop his shipping container somewhere. Hey, don't. And the only good thing will be if we not in the same one, because I do not want to hear your mouth. I told you,
Oh,
Negro.
bruh, we be two Negroes with their foot in the bottom. Damn it, Ray. I done got my toe in the bottom.
Such a good scene. Such a good scene. Danielle says that Danielle selling screws. Legit snort laugh. Oh, okay. She says Dr. Drew is wise about so many things. And Mary says they are already selling prescriptions. Yeah, they are. They own some stuff, man. Own to some stuff. All right. That's our list, right? Oh no, you had
No,
some. You had some.
I gotta get my last one.
Do you do your last one already? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
Did you write it
apologize.
down?
No, no, no. You know what? I'm used to going first, so that's what I thought. Go ahead.
Okay.
What is it?
My last person is Eddie Murphy. I mean,
Ooh, that's a good
is
one.
is there any more respected and iconic American than Eddie Murphy? I mean, he's done it all from brash humor to kids movies with Mulan and Doctor Doolittle to just
Shrek.
to having Oscars and Dream Girls. He's been able to pull off such an amazing connectivity among people in this country through all his talent, to where it didn't matter if you were the poorest of the poor, the richest of the rich. You could watch that guy and find him funny, and from the movies to the stand up to the Saturday Night Live and TV to even the music.
Party all
Granted,
the time, party all the
Party
time.
All the Time is a nostalgic bust. It's a terrible song, but because it happened in a time when he was super famous, we kind of let it slide, and now it's kind of just funny to listen to it. But Eddie Murphy cannot. He
You can't
should not, I should say.
you can't say party all the time unless you hanging onto the headphone and you
Yeah,
dancing.
why you wanna hurt me? I'll tell you why I want to hurt you. This is terrible,
It's
but
not
it's
that
it's
it's not that bad of a song though.
the things I do for you.
This is good. Danielle says Eddie, so I'm assuming because I know that's what she was. I know that's what she's doing.
What
Mary
have you
says,
done for me lately?
"What have you done for me?" Goody goo goo. All right. Mary says Eddie, great choice, and says my first introduction to stand up, unfortunately, not in person. I got a buddy of mine, Mary, here in Phoenix, who went and saw Eddie and still has the fucking ticket stub for it.
Nice.
The craziest thing with Eddie is that so often these people, when you think about his career and where he shot to, and Saturday Night Live, and then and so young, and then going from where he went with that, like he's never had a crash. Like a lot of people when they're young that we've seen in entertainment, they shoot up that rocket ship goes, and then eventually it just runs out of gas, and it crash lands back, and then you never hear from these people again for whatever reason, whether it be, they get hooked on drugs or become alcoholic or any of those different things.
Eddie had
Eddie's,
a crash.
I don't think he ever had a crash. He may have had a
No,
dip. He's never had a crash.
no, he had a crash,
What would you
and
say?
then he had a comeback. He turned down Rush Hour to do some terrible movie, the one with the tree where he couldn't talk and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said 1,000 words or whatever. He
yeah.
turned down a bunch of roles for movies that he thought, and then they bombed. And he was it's like anything he touched was not a box office hit anymore. And
But
so
that's
he
not a
kind of,
crash. That's not a crash.
if you going from box office gold to box office duds isn't a crash.
No, you had a dip in your career.
I don't know about that. I think if you go from the hottest thing selling to people being like, I'd rather not watch that. For as famous as Eddie Murphy is,
Well,
and then he did Dreamgirls, and it was like I'm back, and there's the magic. And then he wrote Coming to America too, and kind of
again, another dip. Look, I, I think what people like Kevin Hart and other people, myself included, have learned from people like Eddie Murphy, because that was an old way of doing things, is you got to have more than just that one thing that you're doing, so that you can always stay relevant to a certain extent. Because I do believe that you can, even Eddie Murphy, get to a certain point where almost not only is the market maybe saturated on with you a little bit, but you also you start reaching for some shit because your arrogance has got to you maybe a little bit. I can turn that into something. Now I don't know if he should have done Rush Hour. I don't know what Rush Hour is. If he does it, maybe Jackie Chan doesn't never have a career because Eddie overwhelms him so much in the movie. Because Eddie to me is that much more talented than Chris Tucker. I don't know what that turns into. But the dude is an icon, and I don't know if icons can ever crash.
yeah. When you're an icon and then you're on Dancing with the Stars, you've crashed. I mean,
What icons of Dancing with the Stars?
that's what I'm saying. You know, Jerry Rice was an icon, and he was on Dancing with the Stars.
Jerry Rice did not transcend football and the whole world and everything beyond his fucking
He's
career.
arguably the greatest
Football
football player.
player ever. He doesn't transcend every grouping of people. There are people who are walking around who have no idea who Jerry Rice is. You're gonna be hard pressed to find somebody who lives in a cave who's blind with no arms and no legs, and they still know who the fuck Eddie Murphy is.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I'll let you have that one.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being so generous and taking the beat down. Look at this. Look at this, Dion. Ah, yeah, why?
Oh, okay. Now there's an icon for you. There's an icon.
All
I
right.
think I'm cute.
Oh yeah. See, I can do
But
Macho
see,
Man. You want to do Macho
see,
Man and Maya?
sure, let's do it.
No, no. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I'd like to talk to the Macho King.
Oh no! I could do like a couple of impersonations. I could do Macho Man. I could do Miss Piggy.
You can do anybody who's pink most of the time when they're on screen. You can do the Pink Panther, Miss
Oh,
Piggy,
oh.
Macho Man, the
Have,
Pink Power Ranger.
has there ever been a worse cartoon than the Pink Panther? Oh,
Ba-doom-da-doom.
oh, absolutely horrible.
It's got one of the best intro songs of all time, though.
Just do Miss Piggy. No, I'm not going to actually
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, I kind of want to hear it too.
Who said that?
Lee.
I'm not doing Miss Piggy Lee.
He definitely not doing it now that he knows ass.
No. Oh, Kermie.
You should have not done it. Don't ever do that again.
Why?
Any show that you and I are a part of. No, I don't do it. You was about to, don't do it again.
Oh,
That was oh, I wish I could unhear what I heard.
that was pretty good though.
No,
It
no,
was too.
it was
Wasn't it?
not.
Was it pretty good, guys? It was pretty good. Oh, Mary says just announced Henry Kissinger died. Everybody's dying, man.
Man, I thought he was dead already. I thought that nigga been dead.
I noticed as Lee said this, haha, one more time for the back. No, Lee. Lee, I haven't met you yet, but I hate you.
He's okay.
You just snorted like Miss Piggy.
Oh my god.
Mary says he was 100, so Mr. Kissinger was 100 years old. Well,
R.I.P. to
rest,
Mr. Kissinger.
yeah, man, rest in peace, Mr. Henry Kissinger. And Danielle Marie says, same, Dion. I'm not sure what she means by same. What you trying to say? I shouldn't do it again, Danielle? What you trying to say?
Yeah, yes, I think she's saying same. Yeah,
Hey, man, that
that's too
was
funny.
pretty, that's my Larry David. Pretty good.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah, that Miss Piggy sent me though. I was not expecting that pitch of a voice to come out of that container of a body. But
Oh, Danielle said, I thought he was dead already. So she was saying about Henry passing away. Hey, man, that was good.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Henry Kissinger died like 40 years ago.
I didn't think not that long ago, but I did. I thought he had passed away as well. Dion did a good Maya. We will leave it at that. Mary, grounded. Mary's grounded.
She's right.
Oh, Kermie. All right.
Miss Piggy, you sound a little different today.
Oh.
You sound a little different over there.
Okay. I do my Randy. Okay, all right. All right. Dion,
Sydney, don't do anything you'd regret.
Dion, what is your what the hell, sir?
My what the hell is up with what I did with my coat? It is freezing here in Indiana, and I cannot for the life of me find my coat. And I'm trying to think where's the last place I had my coat because hasn't been cold for months and months, and I checked all the places where it should be, and it's not there. So I think somebody stole my coat someplace, and I don't remember where it was. So now I have to go buy a new coat, and I'm very frustrated by that because I could have got a coat in the summertime when they were, 50% off, but I thought I had a coat. Turns out I'm coatless.
You don't go nowhere but home and to the club. How could you lose your coat or even get it stolen?
I've been everywhere. You know what? Now I remember where I lost it. I lost it at a club, a comedy club down in Alabama when I was
Somebody,
with Miss Pat. I
somebody
left
stole
it.
it.
No, I hung it up, and for whatever reason, that was the only night I hung it up because I normally put it on a chair, and I hung it up, and I forgot that I hung it up, and when we were all ready to go because it was the last night we were there, I didn't realize until the club had long closed. I'm like, ah, shit, my coat's at the club. It was too late to go get it, and now that's why I'm coatless. So,
Okay, there you go.
well, damn.
Well, my what the hell is this? It's another Thanksgiving in the books. It's another Black Friday in the books. And let me just ask you guys this couple questions. One, when did we all make this new social contract where nobody was going to say excuse me when we're out? When are we just going to start pushing people out the way or walking past people? And why did you take your stroller out the car if you weren't going to put your big head baby in it? What are we doing here? Why are you pushing a stroller around with nothing but, I see nothing but bags in it? When did we make this social contract? Next thing is, why do you people release your teenage children on the rest of the planet on Black Friday? I'm walking past kids, I'm saying, excuse me, these kids have not been taught manners to get out the way. First of all, I'm the adult. I should not have to say excuse me. You should be saying excuse me and getting your ass out the way. There was one girl, Dion, I'm not gonna say it, but I wanted to give her a permanent limp that she knew to get out the way the next time she sees a grown man walking down the aisle.
Can I
What's that?
can I tell him how old that little girl was?
About 13, 14. Don't try to make it like she was 5 or 6.
She was 6 years old, y'all.
She
He about to
was
snap
not.
that little.
She was not.
He about to break a little chicken leg.
I mean, look, man. This girl sat there with her leg stuck out in the aisle, looking at me like I was the problem. Get your ass
Well,
out the
I
way.
wasn't. Maybe you were the problem.
Oh,
Well, I wasn't.
just can't do it with these kids anymore, man. Y'all need to do something about your children. Do something about your kids, man. Children are not the future. I would teach them nothing.
No, they're not the future. Those crates are the future. We all gonna be in
What
there
you knew
together.
you gonna say
That's
that?
they gonna put a little chip right here behind your ear at the medulla oblongata. I'm telling you, man.
All right, that's the end of the show. Leon's
We
gonna
gonna
get this
be
by.
all hooked. It's gonna be like the Matrix.
I knew that. See, I tried to end it before you said that. When you had us all in pods, just all up in goobly gop and shit stuck in the
No, we're
back.
not gonna be. No, we're gonna be plugged in, but we're gonna be in shipping containers.
Sir, you like to walk around. You leading yourself there, wearing the little the meta or whatever, the shit on your head, living in another
I play
world.
online poker. That's nowhere near the same. I don't have to give them no information. It's all fake.
It's like it's like marijuana. It's a gateway. It's a gateway, dear.
Anybody who smokes crack will tell you weed ain't have nothing to do with it.
It was the one high, and they try to get to another high, another high. Next thing you know, you're sucking the dick.
That's no. That's not how it works.
Mary, Mary said, "Great show. Love you guys so much. Love you guys so much too. It was a
Thank
good
you,
show.
Mary.
We'll let you guys know what we're gonna do next week. Dion may be in Atlanta, so we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll catch you hopefully Monday, um, but we'll see.
We'll keep you guys up on the schedule as always. Thank you guys. Have a good week.